Gear I'm taking for Peace River trip, 4 days. Really it's kind of 2 and 2 days. The night number 2 will be car camping with family that are going to meet us along the river, so that's pretty nice. Did a video already, so I'm not going to go through this, but this is my food. Basically 2 stacks of Lay's, and it's kind of separated one day, day 1 and 2, day 3 and 4. A jar of peanut butter that'll be with me for all 4 days. And then I've got basically day 1 and 2, day 3 and 4. So all the food's in there. Again, I did a video on that, so if you want to see that, you can certainly look for it. No, this basket isn't going with me. And I only need to take half of this, so the yellow bag, along with this set of chips and the peanut butter, these 2 I'll pick up night 2, morning 3, whatever you want to look at, when I'm car camping. So that's food. And next I'll go through kind of what I'll have on my person. Obviously sunglasses, nice floppy hat, and items that are in this bag. Just real quick, stuff like a folding knife, and a nice little Winchester folding knife. It's got serrated edge on it for cutting rope, very important. Multi-tool, signal whistle. I've also got this little deal for like holding your fishing license. I'll have a little bit of cash, ID, credit card, in case of emergency. And of course, fishing license, even though I'm not fishing, but that never comes out of there. I'll also have a cell phone with me for obvious reasons, just regular cell phone. So that's kind of items that'll be on my person, as well as obviously, and I don't have in the room, PFD, kayak paddle, kayak itself. I have an anchor bag that I actually use for ropes. I've got a tow rope in there, a mesh bag, and a paddle leash. So those things I'm not going to show you, but they essentially will be my person, not just on my person. But with that, I'll go ahead and go through the bag that is going to be on the kayak, my deck bag. Of course, bilge pump. And then in here, I've got a watertight box, which my cell phone will be in. In there, I've also got some lip balm, a couple lighters, a compass that I really won't need to use too much on this trip. I'm just going down river, so it'll say south most of the time. And then a pair of kind of emergency folding reading glasses. Pretty nice. I've actually got 2 pair of these. Got them at the Dollar Tree, so they've got different powers. I think there's like 1.5, so just enough for reading. And again, my cell phone will be in there, along with, of course, cigarettes, because I smoke. I've got lighters. One of the lighters actually has some duct tape wrapped around it, so something happened and I need to maybe patch a small hole in the kayak that'll definitely work for a little while. That's there. Also in this bag, we got some Deep Woods Off and some sunscreen, as well as a few extra little D-rings that are clipped in here, and some key rings and stuff like that. Also, obviously, very important, first aid kit. Again, this is right in my deck bag, easy to get at, and anybody that I'm with always knows where that first aid kit is, because if I'm the one that gets hurt and they need to go get it, they don't have to search for it. So that deck bag essentially is on my person as well. It's right there. So another thing I'm bringing, this little box right here, kind of call it my electronics box. I have a little flip phone. It's fully charged. It's got service, so in case of emergency, something happens with my other phone, I've got another backup. I've also got 2 portable chargers, along with the cord that goes in there to my phone, a headlamp with multifunction headlamp. Also 2 sets of backup batteries. So it takes 3 AAAs. I've got 6 AAAs. Also another lighter, surprise, surprise. But that's a little kind of electronics waterproof box. That'll be in there. I do have another waterproof box that kind of holds my personal hygiene items. It's got baby wipes because wiping down at the end of the day is really nice. Got some toilet paper, obvious reasons. It's about 3/4 of a roll. Just took the core out of it and mashed it down. Fits in a Ziploc bag. Nail clippers. You never know. Get a hangnail or something, or chip a nail, crack it, whatever. These are little camp soap strips. They are environmental friendly, so I can use them right in the river. It's not going to have any impact on the fish or the water. Some hand sanitizer, little travel toothbrush and toothpaste, and some vitamins. So, and all of these are in their own little plastic bags, except for the camp soap and the toenail clippers. But the important stuff is separated in a plastic bag. So if that sanitizer happens to leak, you're screwed. So all that's in there. Again, that's a little hygiene box, if you will, personal hygiene. Important to take care of yourself while you're out there. So that's that. And then we kind of get to camp, and I guess one compression bag. It's a 30-liter Nelson rigging bag. This does hold my hammock that has a bug net on it, along with a 12x15 Evolution Rainfly, along with the tree straps, all my rope, pegs, everything that I need. So that's kind of my sleep system right there. Real nice, compact underquilt. Again, not a real heavyweight one, but it's Florida. It's September, so I'll be good. Underquilt to go along with, of course, the hammock and the Rainfly. Kind of comfort item that I'm taking is this foldable backpack chair. It's a little heavy, it's 3.5 pounds, but it's worth the wait, if you ask me. Again, it's a luxury item. I could sit in the hammock all day if I wanted to, but it starts to get hard on the back of the knees, and I don't want to lay down the whole time. Plus, I don't want to necessarily look for a dry spot to sit or anything. Just put up the chair. It's nice to sit down. When you're eating, whatever. It's just nice to be able to sit. This is my little camp kitchen setup, if you will. It's Stanley. It's a 40 ounce pan or pot, if you will. Inside's got 2 bowls, 2 plates. The plates are really kind of worthless, but they work well as like a cutting board or something. Get those out. I got some little scrubby pads here. In fact, it was one. I cut it in half, so I've got 2 little sponge scrubby pads. I've got a single burner stove that will go on to fuel stove or fuel canister that hooks up. Works real nice. I've got one here. I also just purchased a new one. You can see it's marked on the bottom of the tag. It says new, so I know which one to use first. The old one, obviously. I also got a can opener. Don't really need this. The multi-tool that I have has a can opener on it. And usually when I do use cans, it's the type of the pull top, but it doesn't take up really any extra room in here, so I go ahead and carry it, because sometimes you end up with a can that's not the pull top kind, and you may not have a multi-tool, or maybe I'm off doing something with the multi-tool and somebody else is trying to cook, or whatever the deal may be. But that's where I got also 2 towels, some Ziploc bags, different sizes, 2 of these sets kind of go together, just fork, knife, and spoon, real simple, and a couple trash bags. Of course, the trash bags will be used all over camp, not just for kitchen stuff, just to make sure that we keep everything clean and leave no trace behind us. the last bag that I've got really to go through is kind of my basic camping stuff. And that's all in this little, what was at one point a hydration bag. Now it's kind of a little backpack. I've cut all the straps and everything off to lighten it up. Then I put a piece of 1-inch webbing through where the drink tube would come out on either side, and makes a nice shoulder strap. Anyway, in this bag, I've got the Thermacell, which I live and die by. Awesome for keeping bugs away. It's also got some extra fuel in there, the extra cartridges that go in there. And anybody that uses a Thermacell knows, love it. Also got some Zip fire starters. We've got 2 of them. They're real nice. They work wet. That's why I have these 2. I do have some other fire starting material in there, but these are nice because again, they'll work wet. They do have a little bit of a petroleum smell. So if I do use them to start a fire that I might cook over, because I'm going to wait a while to use it. I don't want to be, don't necessarily want to be eating anything that's coming off of that. And then these, again, some more essential camping items. Flashlight, it's a little heavy, but I got it as a gift from my eldest daughter, and I found, because I took it one time, and I really kind of like it. It's got a little hook on it, kind of light off. It's got a hook on top of it, so I can hang it under my rainfly and use the lantern feature, and it lights up really nice. So that was kind of a nice little surprise, but it's a little big, a little weighty, but I don't count ounces, and it works real nice. So that's that. Also just a real simple UST Walmart knife. Again, got some serrated edge on it. I don't do much bush crafting, or in fact I don't do any bush crafting, but I may need to cut a peg or a steak or something sometimes, so I do have a knife, or rope, or whatever. So use it for cooking sometimes. It came with a fire starter, whether it's ferro rod or whatever it is, but I don't use that type of fire starting. So I took it out, just to save weight. I don't want it to fall out while I'm at camp and end up being litter bug. Little folding camp saw. It's actually pretty nice. Folds up. Just gotta cut a twig, or I'm not gonna cut logs with it, but some little twigs cut up for fire. It works. And of course, can't hold anything. Some paracord. This is about 50 foot. You can't go wrong with some 550 paracord. Trowel, for obvious reasons. Don't need to go into that. And then I've got some lighter knot. It's Heart of Pine, extremely full of pine tar. So this lights up no problem. And I generally use this, but again, if it's wet, I've got the Zip fire starters that work when it's wet. And then in here I've got a gear hanger that I stole the design concept offline from Crip Smith. It's just, mine's different than his, but it's essentially a paracord with a bunch of D-rings on knots that stretch along with a figure 9 on one end, so I can tighten it up real nice and just hang my gear. I'm not going to pull it out. It's pointless. Again, if you want to see a gear hanger, Crip Smith from out there, or Sailing and Such, whatever it was at the time, does a gear hanger. You can look that up. Really, really excellent idea. So that is my my camping gear. Again, that's what I'm taking. And then, of course, clothing. I'm not going to go into it. Clothing's kind of a personal preference. But I will have a hat. I like to wear a hat. Obviously I've got one on now. But just while I'm at camp, and the hat that I'll be wearing during the day, the big old floppy, it's going to be hot and sweaty, so it can hang up to dry all night while I'm wearing this. Another thing I will have is some shoes, whether they're sandals or some type of a croc, or even a tennis shoe or a hiking boot with socks, to get my feet out of the flip-flops, while I'm at camp. It's just nice to have something nice on my feet. I will have socks regardless, because I'll be sleeping. Normally I wear socks. Weird, but when I'm hammock camping, I'll wear socks and like a warm-up slack pant. Nothing heavy, but just enough to keep me kind of warm. But that's it. Really, I'm looking forward to the trip. A couple things that you didn't see. I do have an air pistol, a little BB pistol that I'll be bringing just to scare away raccoons, squirrels, whatever. Not squirrels don't bother me, but raccoons or possums that can't take a hit when you just scare them. So I'll shoot at them and get them away. The personal defense I'll have with me as well, and the maps of the trip, where we expect to stop each night. And the next video that I do actually is going to be explaining how I found the route, set it up, and all that, planned it out. And then I will also have a GPS with me. I'm waiting for the Garmin eTrex 20X to come in, so I can get my maps, put my waypoints on it, and of course then it can kind of measure my speed and see where I am, and make sure that we're staying on track as far as our trip is concerned. So that's really it. Yeah, that's it for gear. Again, the kayak I'll be using is it's a 16-foot Perception Captiva. It's a sit-in. I chose it over the sit on top just because the bulkheads are drier. They're not dry. Technically, I guess it's dry storage, but anybody that kayaks and does long trips understands. You will get some moisture in there. Nothing is perfectly dry, but it's just nicer for longer trips. It's lighter. It tracks great, and again, I'll be able to store the stuff inside the kayak rather than on top of it, and so I'm really looking forward to this trip. I've been planning it for quite a while, and it was a couple years ago when I thought about doing the Peace River, and now I'm less than a month away from doing it. In fact, 3 weeks from tomorrow. So it'll be me and my daughter's boyfriend, and we're looking forward to it. It'll be a fun trip. And again, night 2, we're being met up with by my daughter, my son, and my wife. So we'll be doing a little bit of car camping. We'll have a really nice meal on night 2, and a really good breakfast for day 3 to get us going. So I'm looking forward to it. Again, it's 70 miles, and it's gonna be a good trip. But that was my gear, and look forward to the video on planning my trip.